If you have an appointment, you may proceed inside. If you don't have official business, we ask you remain in the lobby. This is Mast, the beating heart of the United Colonies. Every decision made in the civilized galaxy takes place inside these walls. I'm one of Mast's resource officers. It's my job to ensure those here on official business get where they're going promptly, and that any rule breaking is dealt with swiftly. Most of Mast's employees have extensive training in their specific areas of expertise. But if you're interested in joining the UC, Commander Tuala of the Vanguard is just on the far side of the room. The Vanguard's open to anyone who can fly. The Vanguard should be able to provide you with work going forward. Enjoy your time in New Atlantis.
Sarah! Another space explorer. Hey, you ever think of joining up with the Vanguard? Help the United Colonies, earn some credits, even get your UC citizenship? United Colonies Volunteer Fleet. Independent captains enlist, get to use their own ships, and the UC provides them with sustained work and credits. And put in your time, and you're guaranteed UC citizenship and everything that comes with it. Discounts on UC goods and medical services, chance to own a place in New Atlantis. Only way a foreign captain could even dream of seeing those sorts of benefits. So, you want in? Excellent. Just need to do a little paperwork. An orientation on the UC, and knock out an exam, and a probationary mission. We need to know you'll be able to hack it out there after all. Do well. You'll be out there keeping the peace in no time.
Don't forget, John. I need him back after you wrap him in that fancy get-up of yours.
No worries, Sarah. I'm not forgetting about you or our little business afterwards. Promise. First things first. Head down to the orientation hall and get signed up at the registration terminal. System will walk you through the rest. Oh, and if you got a bounty, well, you're gonna have to make things right with the UC before we'll let you join. But if you've got any questions, I can get you sorted. Have some questions? Right. Got so wound up bringing you on board, I almost forgot.
No, I haven't. Come on, John. Let's hear it, before you try to convince him to join the Marines.
All right. Here's what I've got. Vanguard volunteer by the name of Moera. Helps patrol the old neighborhood. Sol, Mars, Neptune, you know.
The Sol system? Which admiral did he upset to get that posting?
He's Martian, born and raised. Not like I can get anyone else to care. Word is he's got some fancy metal ornament he's been showing off to the old grounders. Matches that description Sarah gave me. Sol system is a lot of planets, but a vet like Moera will be checking in at Sidonia on the regular.
You mean hitting the bars, don't you, John?
Hey, nothing wrong with a little refresh between patrols. Anything for Sarah. UC always takes care of its own. Even the prodigal children.
Oh, brother.
The process starts with registration down in the orientation hall. Or did you have a question? Sure thing. What do you want to know? The exam's just a simulation. Only way you'll be hurt there is if you trip on your way inside. Now, for the probationary mission. We select those specifically to ease you into the type of work you'll be doing here. Make sure you're capable of handling things on your own. But I can't promise it'll be risk-free. The UC sends us on jobs because there could be combat. This mission would be no different. Now, if that's a deal breaker, I won't be offended if you walk away. But this is the military. The chance of conflict is kind of in the job description. For the exam, we'll be putting you through a combat flight simulation. Let us see your piloting skills, evaluate how you behave under pressure, all without any risk of you inadvertently getting blown out an airlock. For the probationary mission, though, we'll be sending you out on a job all on your own. The specifics of the mission vary by what's available at the time. But we're not about to ask you to storm a Crimson Fleet base or whatever. At least, not on Mission 1. More likely, you'll be making a drop-off to some UC citizens in an area that's outside normal naval patrols. There'll be a risk of hostile contacts, but that's far from guaranteed. Vanguard work is as needed. When we've got jobs, we'll make them available to you. But the work itself, well, it runs the gamut. Sometimes you might be hunting down hostile ships on behalf of the UC Navy, or you might be called up to help the Science Division clean up some invasive species. Hell, we've even been asked to help take on the occasional terramorph. And sometimes we just need cargo support. Not every job's glamorous. The Vanguard only gets called in for the ones where there's a chance of seeing action. Wherever the UC needs us, the Vanguard is there. Just hop into the elevator. You want the button for Vanguard Orientation Hall. Register yourself at the terminals in the lobby and the exam system will get you to where you need to go. I'll keep an eye out for your results.
Been a long time since I've been to Mars. Sol system doesn't get a lot of traffic. Goodbye.
Yes? You needed something?
Registration accepted. You may now proceed through the historical displays in the orientation hall, or continue on to the examination.
I've probably got every display in this place memorized at this point. In 2050, the Earth exploded. Love that one.
Allied colonies strove to provide all their citizens with opportunity, security, and peace. But there were those among the UC that still wanted something more. Independence. So in 2161, the UC issued the Centaurus Proclamation, granting UC citizens the right to settle distant worlds and form their own sovereign powers. It wasn't long before the first new faction, the Free Star Collective, was formally organized in 2188, later followed by House Va'ruun, revealing themselves to the universe in 2230.
The result of the Centaurus Proclamation has always left me torn. So much conflict arose as a result. Was it worth it?
Please don't touch the displays.
Cydonia is an industrial town. The people there tend to be concise. Bye for now.
Beginning in 2240, House Va'ruun forces declared all-out war on the rest of human civilization, initiating the Serpent's Crusade. Over the next 23 years, thousands of Freestar, UC, and independent souls were killed by agents of House Va'ruun in the name of their Serpent God. It was only with the death of their founder in 2263 and the succession of his heir, Jarek, that House Va'ruun finally sued for peace. There remains, however, select members of House Va'ruun who refuse to recognize the cessation of hostilities their leaders established. Even after House Va'ruun's mysterious disappearance, these zealots remain a threat to all who encounter them. Their pacification, a goal of all space. Of the many conflicts between the galaxy's factions, none was more brutal than the recent colony war between the UC and the Freestar Collective. Set off by the unauthorized Freestar colonization of Vesta's Pride in 2308, a direct violation of the Nerion Treaty, the colony war spread quickly across the galaxy. Both sides deployed every tool at their disposal. armadas of warships, mechanized combat platforms, or mechs, even bioengineered alien creatures, the infamous UC xenoweapons. It was only in 2311 at the Battle of Cheyenne that the scales finally tipped. The Freestar Collective, utilizing their civilian fleet as a human shield, successfully crippled the superior United Colonies Navy. After their shocking victory against the galaxy's greatest navy, the Freestar Collective offered terms of peace, which the colonies, out of an interest in staving off any further human costs, accepted. The galaxy has been rebuilding ever since.
The Colony War was a horrible conflict that irreparably wounded the settled systems. There were times I felt that it would never end.
Few settled worlds were left untouched by the Colony War. But nowhere could the viciousness of modern warfare be seen more clearly than on the Freestar planet of Nira. Initially occupied by invading United Colonies forces as a forward operating position, repeated attempts to take and retake the planet by collective forces led only to devastation. Swaths of the world were transformed into scorched husks, a nightmarish testament to the depths of human ingenuity and human cruelty. And today, Nira remains a continuing reminder to the horrors of unfettered war.
I bring her here almost every day to stare at this thing.
Dad wanted me to apply for the administration track at school, but I'm going to be a xenobiologist. It's science division or nothing.
You know it was some UC general that condemned Londinium? Gave it over to these things. One of these murals said he was executed after the war. Might have gotten off too lightly.
All 4 of my last science papers have been on terramorphs. No one knows how they move between planets. I wonder if they can grav jump or something.
I really hope this is just a phase.
In the midst of the Colony War, a different kind of tragedy struck the UC city of Londinian. A newly constructed but critical supply center for the United Colonies' war effort, Londinian found itself overrun by one of the galaxy's most mysterious predators, the Terramorph. A rare but pervasive threat to all human-settled worlds, Terramorphs swept over the city, seemingly out of nowhere, on a scale never before seen in recorded history. Valiant efforts by the UC military slowed the onslaught, but the creatures proved unstoppable. Ultimately, the decision was made to destroy the Londinian spaceport, sealing off the city, the outbreak, and its citizenry from the galaxy at large. The tragedy of Londinian is mourned by the UC to this day.
Wonder where this will all lead. Ask whatever you'd like. Maybe another time.
After the devastation wrought by the Colony War, the UC and the Freestock Collective came together to ratify a treaty that became known as the Armistice. Both sides agreed to a vast reduction in standing forces, and that xeno-weapons and mech warfare would be outlawed. All related research was sealed away, accessible only in cases of dire emergency. But the Collective had another demand, that the active commanders of the UC military stand trial for their actions. The United Colonies, in the interest of peace and galactic security, agreed. In 2311, 3 United Colonies senior officers were found guilty. Commander Henry Durant, General Indira Rastogi, and Fleet Admiral Francois Sanon, known better as Vae Victis. All were sentenced to death for their actions, bringing the colony war to a close and returning peace to the galaxy at long last.
All of the terrible that both sides used against one another. It had to end.
Evening, sir.
It was into this new world that the Vanguard was born. An official branch of the UC Navy, the Vanguard is the United Colonies Volunteer Fleet, serving a myriad of security, logistical, and reconnaissance roles. And after a sufficient length of service, UC citizenship is guaranteed to every Vanguard member. Open to all captains, regardless of origin, the Vanguard is leading the charge to protect and support the citizens of the United Colonies, wherever in the galaxy they may be. Citizen. Only through service to the UC can one hope to earn one's citizenship. But the UC prides itself on taking care of its people. Cost of living controls mean citizens pay less than their foreign counterparts for needs big and small. All citizens are issued a grant upon joining to get themselves on their feet. And only UC citizens have the opportunity to purchase property, getting the chance to live in one of the most beautiful cities in the settled systems. By joining the Vanguard today, you too can begin earning your place here, in the heart of galactic civilization, as a citizen of the United Colonies.
Welcome, applicant, to the piloting simulation chamber. Please enter the designated simulation pod to initiate your exam.
I've spent a fair bit of time in simulators just like these. They're startlingly realistic. Have fun.
You must be our new applicant. I'm Proctor Samuelson. The simulator's already been prepped. You can head in whenever you're ready. The simulator is designed to be a near-perfect replica of a Class B Deimos hoplite, the United Colony's standard destroyer model. It's been tuned to provide a challenging but fair fight against the enemy squadrons you'll encounter inside. Vanguard assignments can often include both space and ground combat. It'd be bad for both you and the United Colonies to not ensure you're adept in both capacities before sending you out on your first real assignment. While I can't answer that question directly, I will say this. Due to the solitary nature of our work, resourcefulness is a critical tool in any Vanguard pilot's repertoire. You're permitted, even encouraged, to use whatever tool you're able to find in there. Of course, you'll be running through a high-realism combat flight simulation, engineered by members of the UC science staff, right here in MAST. Your task is to defeat at least 3 tiers of simulated opponents. Accomplish that and you pass the exam, and can then proceed on to your probationary mission. However, if you defeat more than 3 tiers of enemies, your required enlistment time for citizenship will be reduced, and your enlistment bonus increased. But you're welcome to try as many times as you like before returning to Commander Tuala to proceed on to the next step in your application process. We'll only keep the highest score you manage to achieve in there. All right then.
Only those on official United Colonies business can access the building.
You'll need to defeat at least 3 tiers of opponents to pass, but defeating it, just head in whenever you're ready. This is the Mark 18 Flight Simulation Chamber applicant. Currently in orbit around a high-detail recreation of a remote world. When you're ready to begin, please take a seat in the pilot's chair. Your exam is simple. Defeat as many tiers of opponents as you can before your ship is disabled. You must defeat at least 3 tiers of opponents to pass the exam. Good hunting, applicant.
Targets active. All targets eliminated. Progress. targets active.
You've been defeated, applicant. You may initiate a reset of your current tier at the terminal inside the cockpit, or step outside and take a break. Simulation reset. Prepare for your first opponent.
New targets active.
record your current score, or stay and try your hand at the remaining tiers. Resuming the examination.
New targets active.
You have passed, applicant. You may proceed to the exit hatch to log your results, or restart the exam from the simulation's control terminal. Congratulations, applicant. You've passed. You can head up to Commander Tuwala to receive your final results and your probationary assignment. Or you're welcome to take another run at the simulation if you'd like to try and earn a better score. We'll only keep your best run.
Yes? You needed something?
Well, look who's back. Everything go all right with the exam? Or did you have some questions you needed answered first? Me? 6, 7 years now? Was a recon squad commander in a former life, so it wasn't too big a jump bossing around foreign pilots instead. But Vanguard's been a quality assignment. Meet new people, judge them on a series of diverse criteria, get them out there helping people who need it. MAST is short for Military, Administrative, and Scientific Triumvirate. From here, the three co-equal divisions of the UC government work together to advance the cause of the colonies. Be that through mutual defense, political and diplomatic strength, or scientific discovery. Now, serving any of the UC's divisions grants citizenship, but scientific and admin positions in the UC tend to be real competitive. Understandable, most people would prefer to earn their citizenship behind a desk rather than in combat. Not something I'd ever choose for myself, but understandable. I'm here all day if you've got something else on your mind. Military used to have a pretty narrow view of where the best pilots came from. In their eyes, it was UC or bust. The creation of the Vanguard was an acknowledgement by the brass that maybe not all the galaxy's greatest pilots went through a UC flight school. So it's the Vanguard's job to find them and get them to fly for us. Take your time. So these are your numbers that just came through then. You ready to hear how you did? I like the fire, applicant. Let's get into it. So, looking at the data? Checked out a few of the murals. Good. A test of preparation and thoroughness. Two traits the Vanguard values highly. Psychological results are all within expected levels. Navy doesn't have room for folks that'll fall apart the first time they're trying to outrun a homing missile. Now, how'd you do against your foes? Tier 4. Not too shabby. The techs make us test each level of the sim too. I can tell you that wave are some real artificial bastards. Good job putting them away.
Hell of a job. I might even let you fly me around sometime.
So then, looking at your results as a whole, and presuming you're successful in completing your probationary mission, you could have your UC citizenship after only 10 years service. Pretty standard for combat assignments. But your performance in the simulator does mean I can offer a signing bonus. Help convince you to join the cause.
10 years might seem like a long time, but it's worth the climb if you wish to become a citizen.
So, sounds to me like we've got Vanguard material on our hands. If you're interested, we could bring you on as a provisional member today. Get you the credits you've earned, then send you out on your probationary mission. First though, all UC service people, provisional or otherwise, are required to swear an oath. So, you want to make this official? Commit yourself to the cause of the colonies?
It's a big decision. John, you're not about to have my compatriot here sign some kind of contract that sells you their grandmother 5 years down the line, are you?
Officer's honor, Sarah. This is honest work for honest credits. So, you ready to do the deed? Fantastic. Then just follow me. Wouldn't be right doing this where we couldn't see the stars. Now, raise your right hand. The motto of the Vanguard is Supra et Ultra, above and beyond. That is where we serve, beyond the furthest reaches of the United Colonies military, and with honor and duty above reproach. Do you swear to protect and defend the citizens of the United Colonies to the best of your abilities? And to uphold the values of the Vanguard, honor, loyalty, self-reliance, in all your actions as a member of the United Colonies Navy? Then let me be the first to officially welcome you to the United Colonies Vanguard. Now, only thing left is getting you that probationary mission. And what I've got is comms repair. Group trying to refurb an old colony war processing plant on Tau Ceti 2. Sounds like they'd barely gotten set up when their communications died. Place is as isolated as they come, so Brass wants a Vanguard to deliver the repair suite and ensure anyone present is safe and secure. So, can the people of Tau Ceti 2 count on you? That's the spirit. Head down to the spaceport and talk to Crew Chief Harath. He'll get you the repair suite plus your new recruit kit. Oh, and your advance. Give it your all out there. Supra et Ultra.
By Vectera, by Vectera, by Vectera! I can't believe it! Is it you? Is it really, really you? Captain of the frontier, bane of the fleet, Constellation's shining star of stars. Oh, you are definitely the brightest, biggest star in any constellation. There's no maybes about it. I have an eye for these things. Not that you're hard to see with that halo on your head. Although at first, I wasn't sure if it was just the glare. But now that I know it's you, what are the odds? And to think, I almost went for coffee instead. But I changed my routine for one day, and here you are. It's almost like it was meant to be. Oh, yes. Normally I start my day by drinking 4 cups of coffee and stuffing my face with chunks. But after being inspired by your story, I thought to myself, what would the great and powerful hero of Vectera do? And so instead, I went for a jog. I ran and I ran and I ran, picturing you in the distance, like a North Star. Imagine my surprise to find you were actually real. By the light of Polaris, it must be fate. I know, right? And you can try to fight destiny, but you probably aren't going to win. Although, if I'm being honest, I'd wager you could beat just about anything, even theoretical concepts. But why would you, in this case? Either way, it's such an honor to meet you. Hey, do you mind if I follow you around? Do you need a sidekick? What am I saying? You're a hero, of course you do. Lead the way. good point. I'll start working on it right away, as soon as I learn how to sew. Until then, maybe I can be a sidekick in training. Do you have an academy where fans can practice groveling at your feet? If not, I can start one. You won't be disappointed.
Time since I've been to Mars. Sol system doesn't get a lot of traffic.
Head down to the spaceport and speak to Crew Chief Harath. He'll get you where you need to go.
Cydonia is an industrial town. The people there tend to be concise.
Keeping the skies safe out there?
I've flown across most of the settled systems in all manners of spacecraft, and yet I still get sick on the Nat. Liked that statue. That's beautiful, isn't it? I wonder what the artist was trying to represent. Security scanners, chemical sniffers. The United Colonies sure isn't taking any chances.
She managed to limp back here at all. Pull it for leeches, get it fixed up, and let her know we'll have it ready as soon as we can.
Yes, sir.
Ah, you are new probationary then? Crew Chief Herat. Pleasure to be working with you. It's my job to make sure all you rocket jockeys are ready for anything that comes at you up there. Now, Manifest says we're fitting you out with one comms repair suite. In addition to the standard issue welcome kit all probationary pilots get for their first mission. Med packs, some small arms, couple spare ship parts, all the essentials in case of any surprises up there. My people will have everything on your ship before you lift off. Won't even know they were there. So, paying a visit to the people of scenic Tau Ceti II. Nice easy one for your first job. Just keep your head on swivel and you'll come home safe. Any questions before you head out? I honestly didn't realize it had people living on it until we got your recorder. Report they gave us seemed clean, no known hostile outposts, but I wouldn't say that's permission to let your guard down. Just watch out for wildlife and pirates. Keep those med packs handy and you'll be fine. Nothing too dangerous, if that's your concern. The repair suite's mostly just wiring and circuit boards. The welcome kit has some goodies in there I wouldn't leave sitting around when company comes to visit. But it's nothing some proper storage can't make safe. Then I won't keep you. Make us look good out there, recruit.
Like their owners for decorating their ship with heat
Where to next?
People say I need more hobbies. Writing about you, thinking about you, talking about you. That's 3 right there.
Lifting off now. Retros firing. Orbit stabilized.
can't believe I get to stand near you, breathing the same air. I've got to have every moment.
Landing initiated. Watch for flaring.
Keep an eye out for hostile. An abandoned meat-packing facility built on the fringes of the settled systems. I wonder what happened here. Something's been through here recently, but left everything in place. At least we know it wasn't the Crimson Fleet.
got hit harder than I thought, or you've got some incredible timing. Regardless, I think it knows you're here. I'll unlock the door. Second floor, main building. But be quiet.
I have a feeling she has our best interests in mind. She suggests.
So what do we got here? You're too clean to be one of the settlers. Or a pirate. You see on patrol, maybe? It'd make my day if you said you were a shock trooper out for a stroll. Oh, I've been better. But I think bleeding out is at least off the table. What I really need, though, is someone who knows their way around a weapon. So, if you wanted to tell me, I'm heavy infantry and I've come to bring you the gift of ordnance, I wouldn't mind in the least. Vanguard, huh? Yeah, I expect they didn't. I'm Hadrian. I was a researcher with the UC. I came here on a rumor of a... Well, I expect you saw the results on your way in. What's left of the settlers? The work of Auxisio Machina. A terramorph. One of the nastiest aliens humanity's ever crossed paths with. And this one, well, it's something of an anomaly. Possibly a worrying one.
I can't believe that a terramorph did all this damage. I mean, I've heard the stories, but to see the decimation firsthand...
I managed to scope out a fair bit of the facility before it found me. If there are any survivors of the attack, they're long gone. Terramorphs have a unique growth cycle. They're usually only found on worlds that have been long colonized by humanity. But Tao said he's too young to have one. Yet here it is. I came looking for an explanation and found... all this. I sure could. Because to confirm my suspicions about this creature, I'm gonna need a tissue sample from it. And to get that, I need its corpse. But there is a way we can give ourselves an edge against this thing. The plant's security system. The admin terminal's here in this building, but it needs its connection reset. And as I found out, that's not a one-person job. But if you can make it to the security outpost and restore the connection, I think I can get things back online. See if the settlers left us any other tools. The settlers outfitted most of the buildings with turrets at some point. Not sure how many are still operable, but at least a few appeared to be in fighting shape. There were also some sensors scattered around the facility that I didn't recognize. But those are honestly all just educated guesses until we get the connection reset. It's the building in the middle of the facility. The terminal in there should allow you to grant me access to the system as a whole. Then we can see about getting things back online. Admin access is centralized to the terminal in this room. Nothing's coming back online if I'm not here. But even if that weren't the case, I'd likely be more of a liability out there than a help right now. Good. Once I see the connection reset, I'll get things underway on my end. Take care of yourself out there. And make sure you leave enough of that thing for us to get a sample. Traction restored. I'll make this quick. Plant's turrets took a beating, but I should be able to get you a couple of kill lanes. Just get the thing to chase you down the alleys between the buildings, and you'll lead it right into a crossfire. Hello. I wish I'd found this earlier. Those sensors around the facility? Part of a livestock tracking system. Should let you keep tabs on how close the Terramorph is. But it's not connected to this network. There should be a terminal in the adjoining room. Tune it to 183.5. Tracker's reading green. And what's that sound?
Security lockdown is active.
Shit. Stop. Stop whatever you're doing and get in cover. It's on the move. Look, I wouldn't engage directly if you could avoid it. The kill lanes. They're set up but need power. There's breakers on each of the buildings you can throw to get them live. Once they're online, lead the Terramorph towards the lights and watch the fireworks. Give it hell, Vanguard.
Seeing a meat packing facility from the inside is starting to make me feel like I should switch to becoming a vegetarian.
Additional power input required.
Connection restored. I'll make this quick. Plant's turrets took a beating, but I should be able to get you a couple of kill lanes. Just get the thing to chase you down the alleys between the buildings, and you'll lead it right into a crossfire. Hello. I wish I'd found this earlier. Those sensors around the facility... part of a livestock tracking system. Should let you keep tabs on how close the Terramorph is. But it's not connected to this network. There should be a terminal in the adjoining room. Tune it to 183.5. Tracker's reading green. And... what's that sound?
The security lockdown is active.
Shit. Stop. Stop whatever you're doing and get in cover. It's on the move. Look, I wouldn't engage directly if you can avoid it. The kill lanes. They're set up but need power. There's breakers on each of the buildings you can throw to get them live. Once they're online, lead the Terramorph towards the lights and watch the fireworks. Give it hell, Vanguard.
Seeing a meat packing facility from the inside is starting to make me feel like I should switch to becoming a vegetarian. Seeing a meat packing facility from the inside is starting to make me feel like I should switch to becoming a vegetarian.
got nothing. Give it your best shot. This hurts. Oh, my head! You're done.
It's a miracle we were able to bring that thing down. At least we avenged the deaths at the colony.
Tracker's gone quiet. I suspect it's either hiding or...
Wait. You did it, didn't you? Heavens above! You just flatlined a terramorph!
Oh yeah, taken care of. No big deal. You didn't happen to grab me a tissue sample, did you? A lot of life gets recorded in our cells. Like, for example, if this terramorph's cells have certain radiation or chemical exposures, it could point to it having been transported on a ship. Then, we could start getting some answers about this thing. So, did you manage to nab one? All right. I spotted a microscope downstairs. Let's see if we can't get to the bottom of this.
I'll try not to slow you down.
Older model. All right, let's see what you can do. Running basic diagnostics? Nothing. Maybe a flag scan? No. Spectrograph. Damn. This equipment, it's not set up to do a proper analysis of our sample. But this terramorph being here, of all places, it doesn't make sense. Humanity's spread plenty of creatures in our travels across the stars. Pets, livestock, pests. But terramorphs? They're different. To our knowledge, no one's ever spread them intentionally. Yet somehow, they follow us. So when humans settle a world, 70 to 100 years later, terramorphs tend to just appear. But no one knows how or why. Dangerous, but at least predictable. Tau Ceti, though, it's too young to have a native population. It's only been colonized 20 years? But then the other option, that someone captured one of the deadliest predators in the galaxy just to wipe out some settlers minding their own business? That seems awfully implausible. Which means we're either looking at a truly strange murder or a faster type of terramorph growth, the results of which could be catastrophic. Terramorph outbreaks have taken down far bigger colonies than this one. Well, they're not exactly buying tickets and flying coach. The theory is that they're spread by some kind of egg or seed that's able to evade our detection. But how the hell an undetectable egg turns into a terramorph without anyone noticing is a question no one's ever found an answer to. And it's why what's happened here could be real bad news for the rest of human civilization. They have. They even took down an entire city once. place called Londinian had to be quarantined due to a massive outbreak during the Colony War. It's the only known loss of that scale, but it's the reason why any change in our relationship with these creatures needs to be taken very seriously. You're right. We don't have enough information. Time was, I had access to one of the best repositories of Terramorph research in the galaxy. Seems a natural place to start looking, if I can figure how to access it. But we also need to get this sample properly analyzed, get confirmation on just how concerned we should be. Luckily, I think I know just the person to help with the sample. What would you say to delivering this to him for me? I'd do it myself, but I need to call in some favors. See if I can't get access to that Terramorph data. Plus, maybe just pop by a hospital for a little bit. Clear it with your commander first if you have to. You can even show them this. My gene tag. Tell them Hadrian Sanan is worried there could be more attacks on the horizon. They should recognize the name. Don't rush in, at least. I'll give you that. I was. Long time ago. Family tradition. But I know some of the folks from my old unit moved into the Vanguard. A couple even owe me favors. If I'm lucky, your commander is one of them. I get it. And I get that you've already gone above and beyond here for me. But I really need your help. I need Dr. Percival Walker to put together a sample analysis for this thing. Full workup. He'll know what that means. I'm not sure exactly where to find him, but last I heard he was contracting with the Trade Authority on Mars. There's a place called the Sixth Circle in Cydonia. Bar run by some old friends. I'll meet you and Percival there. And here. It's not exactly a bounty, but you certainly deserve them. Should cover the cost of fuel to Mars, at least. Now please, go check in with your commander. We need to know what we're dealing with. The Martian Trade Authority is where I'd start your hunt for Percival. After you get clearance, of course. Or did you need something from me? Was my job to know all the nasty critters of the universe for a while. Terramorphs included. I don't do it professionally anymore, though. Courier handed me a slate. Guess someone had picked up a strange signal on a flyby. Thought I might want to check it out. Presumably the same person reported the disturbance to the Vanguard. Never did end up getting their name, though. Percival and I worked together for years. He was an alien researcher like me. A scintillating mind, but not what you'd call a people person. What he's doing working for an organization with other human beings, like the Authority, is anyone's guess. But if there's anyone who will be able to tell us definitively if that sample is trouble or not, it's him.
crew accounted for. We're ready to depart.
Has anyone ever told you you're the greatest explorer in the settled systems? Well, they should.
Stay in orbit or jump. Your call.
Hey, let me know if we're going to head into the well, so I can watch your back.
Look who's back. All set with that probationary mission? We can do your debrief and formally welcome you into the Vanguard whenever you're ready.
A terror? What?
How did you walk away with the Terramorph tissue sample running comms repairs? What happened to the settlers? A gene tag? Let me see that. Sanan. I know that name. Let me check the database. Huh. A lot of this data's been classified. Here we go. Service record. Wow. That's a lot of commendations. Seems like she served with distinction as co-head of a UC Xenoweapons division. Faced tribunal at the end of the Colony War and was dismissed from duty. Guess that's why I'd heard the name before. If she's former Xeno warfare, though, well, we can at least be sure she knows her aliens. Notation says that Sanan already faced punishment for her actions during the war. Dismissal from the UC military. And her sending you to me first makes me think she's actually trying to do this above board. Considering her history, reaching out to the UC probably wasn't the easiest decision. Which means that must be a pretty important sample. In the run-up to the Colony War, the UC started a program with a singular goal. Find the deadliest, most terrifying aliens in the galaxy, and have them fight on the side of the UC. Never saw any of the deployments myself, but the program was clearly enough of a success that when the war came to an end 20 years ago, both sides agreed to have the practice banned, at which point, I presume, this tribunal decided to cut Sanan loose. Given the subject matter, I think we might want to at least explore the possibility. Did your survivor, Hadrian, did she mention why she thinks this sample's so special? I see. This has been one of the more surprising debriefs I've ever been a part of. I did actually have another mission lined up for you, supporting UC system defense against the Crimson Fleet. But now I guess you have two options on how to proceed. Head to the UC Vigilance and help out SysDef, or deliver that sample. I'll make sure you've got the proper clearances for either path. Consider these your first official orders. And here, so everyone knows you're working with the Vanguard. Welcome to the Navy, Captain. Vanguard's also got some custom ship modifications. You'll be cleared for access to them next time you're down at the spaceport. Talk to ship services. Now, if there wasn't anything else, I suggest you move out. I'll handle things with the brass. You just make sure that sample gets to Mars. You can just call them SysDef. Everyone else does. They're the division responsible for combating the Crimson Fleet, fighting pirates. It's not a small job keeping the galaxy's mercantile class safe from death and dismemberment, so they're constantly undermanned. They work out of the ship, the UC Vigilance. Though the support request was a little vague on what your actual duties would be if you decided you want to lend a hand. Only what's in the database. She ran the UC Xeno Warfare Group until she was dismissed at the end of the Colony War. They banned the practice. The type of person who, if they hand you a strange sample of alien tissue, you do exactly what they ask, preferably with gloves on. There was also a pretty infamous Admiral Sinan, known as Ve Victus, that was executed after the Colony War. Not sure if there's any relation, though. That section of the database is above my pay grade. It doesn't. But if that's who that sample is destined for, my bet he's former UC Xeno Warfare, just like Hadrian.
As you can see, traffic is good.
Thanks for choosing Terra Brew. What can I get you?
And there are 2 locations in New Atlantis.
Hello and welcome to Terra Brew.
Yes.
How may I serve you?
And the sales in the fest didn't dip at all when the second store opened.
Corporate policy requires me to state that everything Terra Brew offers is my favorite.
Everything's constant. People need...
Certainly. Please take your time.
but this is very encouraging.
Welcome to Infinity LT. All visitors are by appointment only, I'm afraid. You'll need to contact someone directly if you need to schedule an appointment.
Staggeringly huge. They need people like you. Even with your grades.
Yeah, I'm sure a junior assistant is...
It's your foot in the door. Show initiative, positive attitude, and the sky's the limit.
Wow.
Enhance is here for you, no matter your needs. Hi, welcome to Enhance. Thanks so much for stopping in today. I'm sure my staff and I can accommodate your every need. If you're here to try something new or on a whim, or to replicate a look you've seen and loved elsewhere, or just want to love your reflection in the mirror a little bit more, we've got you covered. All our services and records are private and confidential, so no need to worry. Oh, yes, of course, sure. Enhance's proprietary registered technology is absolutely the best in the settled systems. There is a reason we've been the #1 most trusted brand for reconstructive and plastic surgery for 2 decades running. Well, I'm not at liberty to disclose any of our patients' personal motivations or services. You understand, of course. But, gosh, it could be anything, really. Something simple or a total reconstruction. Why you're here doesn't really matter to me. It's just important that you're satisfied when you leave. Oh my God. You certainly put things bluntly, don't you? I did. No, I do. I take it all very seriously. Sorry, you just took me a little off guard. To tell you the truth, I made a bit of a slip-up. I may have lost a data slate containing the confidential information of numerous patients. Little things, you know, like payment, information, procedures done, age, birthdays, mailing addresses. Oh no, who am I kidding? This is so bad. If that information gets out, my business and reputation could be destroyed. No patient will trust me again. It's not. People's private information is at stake, ready to be taken by any bad actor that finds that damn slate. And worse, my reputation and business is on the line. Please, I'm begging you. You'll have to find that slate. Yes.
Thank you. And let's see, I frequent the Terra Brew nearby, as well as Whetstone. I also stopped by the Valberg building recently. Thank you for doing this. You're a lifesaver. Please, come back as soon as you have the slate. Oh, and don't read anything on it. It's confidential stuff, remember? If you'd ever like to make a change, we're up to the task.
your nose. I have to remember.
I was thinking about getting some work done at Enhance. You want in?
I feel underdressed.
Can you imagine how many credits flow through this place? Figuratively, of course.
So, the hardware is...
With GalBank, I do hope you're taking advantage of our remote transaction benefits. GalBank makes personal finance easy. Money, as long as you have some, should never be something to worry about handling.
Now listen, I have a lot on my plate right now, and you don't look like a new hire stumbling through their first day. Who exactly are you? Really? Huh. You have your own ship? Oh, this is perfect. Kismet, really. I have a business proposition for you that could help us both out. Very lucrative. Good. Great. Well, confession time. I might just be a little desperate. See, the world of credit analysis, dealing with deadbeats and reprobates is, it's a tough field. What I need is a ringer, someone that can collect some of our top delinquent offenders. What I need is you. You work with me, the fee you get will be huge. Oh, I can tell you're eager. That's good. But we'll start small and work our way up to the worst offenders. If you haven't noticed, and I'm guessing you have, the Settled Systems is big. Like really big. Someone gets seriously underwater, they skip the system. And it's a real pain to track them down. Sad truth is, we can't track everyone down, so credit analysis always has a black eye when reporting to the higher-ups. Yes! So, we got a Galaxy-class con man took out a loan to franchise a restaurant. Turns out, surprise, it was a scam, and Dieter Maliki jumps system. Now, he's holed up in a literal shack in the middle of nowhere. Can you believe it? The job is simple. Get Dieter to pay. And we don't want him dead. We don't want him hurt. Just close his account like an honest citizen. Well, yes, we're not the only ones looking for him. And you don't dome up on a dust ball unless you're serious about dodging your civic responsibilities. If he dies, then his assets go to probate, and we can get paid. So if he forces you into an it's you or him situation, it's A-okay for GalBank's bottom line if you choose him. But I cannot stress this enough. This is not the ideal outcome. We wanted him liquidated, we'd have put a tracker on him. Well, you may need to lean on him, scare him. Nothing illegal, just talk to him. And don't listen to any sob stories he tells you. Any job I give you, I guarantee there's not some poor sick aunt that needs credits for surgery. These are scofflaws, scum, flagrantly violating the terms of their GalBank agreements. I'll send over all the details. You find Dieter and bring his account current.
Decided to take a break from exploring to collect some debts? Not exactly a Constellation-worthy pastime, but I'll follow your lead.
I hate to end on this note, but, not everyone's a straight arrow. If you cut a deal with Dieter, honestly, I have no way of knowing. But don't expect any more jobs from me. Best of luck. I believe in you. Together we can really make a difference. we have to try. Every time someone skips out, those credits just don't go away. And those are credits that could have been a loan for a mom and pop trying to start a hydroponic farm. Or they could take a bite out of our share prices. I mean, all sorts of retirement funds pay out a little less. I know it seems, well, hopeless. But what we do matters. Absolutely. Gal Bank makes civilization possible. We make sure that our reputation is flawless, so people can depend on us to invest for their future, save up for a new apartment, or just buy some groceries. True, collections isn't the most glamorous part of the bank, but we all serve our part.